Boom.
And I also want to put a message out there that I did receive a tech message that Google was having issues since 6 o'clock this morning.
What?
Because our friends are in our sisterhood, Shawnee, they were having issues. They had to reroute their wake up everybody.
They were down. Google was down. My
Yep.
husband's like, that's scary. And I'm like,
Because everything in my house is controlled by Google. So I woke up like, Google, turn on these lights, and Google, give me the weather, and Google, and it's like, please try again.
girl, that's when I'm happy I'm not that techie.
Yeah. And I forgot to mention that to you, Kai, because I just got a reminder message on my Google, like, I'm on, like, talk to me. And I was like, oh, look at rain and snow.
I was
I need to know
actually
that
out
now.
this morning, so I'm like coming back in, getting settled. So please excuse me. If you want, I can pause my video, but I wanted to listen. You know, I get that FOMO, Kai. If I'm not on, I'm like, what's going on? What am I missing? I don't want to miss anything. I want to hear it all.
So we got Patty on the move. It looks like everybody's on the move. Look at that.
Hi, mija. This is the week before Christmas and other special things.
Yes, yes.
Ready.
You remind me, Patty, that I just experienced JOMO for the first time this past week. So I got a new mantra, and the new mantra for me is I give myself permission to miss out on some of the things in life. So JOMO is the joy of missing out.
Amen.
Oh, the joy of missing out.
Dropping the knowledge. I love it. Yes.
Gotta write that down. Hashtag JOMO.
I only have that when I'm sleeping because I get my good sleep now.
I mean, I love all this knowledge right now.
Yes.
Meredith, does anyone know Sonia? Did we check with her before we? I mean, because
let me just drop her a message real quick.
Yeah, because if we do the courtesy like doctors do of 10 and 15 minutes, we got like 2-3 minutes, right? 11 plus 15 is 11:26. So we have.
Can you add her? You're not friends with her. You can't add her to. I can't add her to our group message.
No, she's in the group. No, she's not. Yes, she is in the group message. I believe that I did that.
Okay. So then let me send her a personal message.
Let me see. It says see all members. And we have Kai, Patty, Tia, Rev, Jasmine, and other members, Sonia.
Since y'all are getting to know me a little bit more, I'm going to keep introducing myself and telling you more about me. So I also just got married in September. It's almost 3 months.
I'm telling.
All right. And my husband gave me this t-shirt. And I said, this t-shirt is so you. And he's like, that's you too. So the t-shirt says more hope, more humanity, more acceptance, and more love. It was so sweet. And I'm like, I want to like take a picture of it and like put a post up. Like if only we could just embrace that every day.
Oh, okay. So she's working. So she's asking if this will be recorded. I'm sorry, Sonia.
Yes. Hi, Sonia, watching the recording.
Hi, Sonia.
That's a good one. Hi, Sonia. Catch us on, what is it? Hashtag
replay.
Okay.
So I guess we don't need much of introduction other than Kai, because we all know each other here.
So do we want to get started the way we normally do? Okay.
I'm smudging each of your pictures. So I always laugh. I love this book so much. I do. December 14th, wear a new heart wardrobe. Significant shifts are occurring on planet Earth, beloved. Less mind, more heart. Practice emptying your mind, connect with your heart, and learn to listen to your heart messages as you open up to divine guidance. First thing each morning, focus on your soul. Stop thinking so much. Your experiences are the result of your thoughts and intentions. Let your intentions be created from your heart by letting go of what your mind thinks you should do. Listen to the voice of your heart. This is easy when you connect to our divine love and light and allow it to enter your heart. Bring in this energy through your crown chakra, honor your brain, and cleanse it of thoughts that no longer serve you. Thoughts that hold on to anger, resentment, jealousy, and greed. Cleanse your mind with love energy. Wash your brain daily. Dress your heart with a new wardrobe, one that makes you sing, dance, love, laugh, all, and soothe the soul with peaceful colors. What's in your new heart wardrobe to wear each day? It's time to go heart shopping. Commit to follow your heart's voice and listen to what it desires to wear each day. Amen aho ashe. Amen aho ashe. Amen aho ashe. So I thank you all for being here this morning and coming here with an open heart and being part of our mentorship. This is such a labor of love. I speak for myself and my two homies to my left and right hands here. We are so honored to have you join us. So thank you for taking the time this morning to be here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for trusting us to be guides on your journey. So with that being said, we got a little agenda here set up. And so today, we put together some topics, different things that new business people need to think about. And so we've got 12 months of topics, and today is SEO, or search engine optimization. Okay, and we have a unit for that. All the information that we talk about or links that we share or anything like that, the group was set up so that not only can you find all this content easily, it never moves. Whatever we talk about in SEO is always going to be in unit 1. Okay, and so if you share links there, if you have questions, that's where they will go. Okay, and then when you're done with the unit, you're done with any homework, you'll click done, and then we're ready for the next month's topics. And so throughout the month, again, if you need support, this group under December or search engine optimization, that's where you'll find all the information around that. So now, what is search engine optimization? Okay, so search engine optimization is a crucial element of any marketing strategy, bringing in organic traffic to your web pages with relatively little expenditure. Okay, and so this is more geared towards websites. But search engine optimization, in regards to social media, it can look like hashtagging, and using those hashtags to be found. But what we're talking about here is around websites in the current. So whether you're thinking about websites, if you're at that level of business, because I also think that it's very important that you start
where you are with your business. We get lots of business advice, but if we're not at that level of business, that advice is not going to work for us. It's something that we can aspire to, but we want to definitely be working at the level that we're at, you know, working towards the next steps. So, you know, if you're deciding to get a website, search engine optimization is really important, because this is how people find you when they search in Google. So what this looks like is, all right, so let me see. I'm going to go to my baby website. Do I have share screen capability? Okay, cool. No, Mama, I don't. I don't. Host disabled participant screen sharing. Okay. And no let me. No me dejas.
It is unchecked, dear. You are welcome to send it to me.
Well, I can't send you my tabs.
Oh, your tabs. You can send me a link if you'd like.
Well, it's part of the illustration. I don't have slides for this because I need to show it living.
Mm-hmm.
Host disabled participant screen sharing. It just keeps sending me that same. Let me see something. Maybe that's it. No, still won't let me. All right.
Juju, do you mind just testing it? And maybe Meriday, you want to go out, come back in real quick?
All right, go ahead, test it.
No worky for you either? This is so strange.
This might be part of that Google spell. Tell you.
Right? Just blame it on Google. Why not? How about now?
All right, hold on. Yes. Okay. All right. So this is my baby website. So when we're talking about search engine optimization, these are the keywords that people type in when you do a search. So in this particular instance, I typed in the keywords Dutchess County, New York doulas. Okay. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you're showing up in your neighborhoods. Okay. And so if when people search you in Google and they're not finding you on the front page, you know, based on your website, you need to adjust that. So in this instance, for Dutchess County, New York doulas, I'm showing up right here. So I'm 5-7 listings down, but on the first page. So I know I'm doing a pretty good showing for Dutchess County doulas, right? But if I don't tweak that, that can change drastically. Okay. And so this information that's here, birth and postpartum services, Mid-Hudson Valley doula, that's what it says on my title tab, which is up here. So you see how I'm hovering and you see how it says Dutchess County, New York doulas Google search. When I'm on my website, now you see it says New York City, Mid-Hudson Valley, Women's Health Full Spectrum. I made it say that because I want to show up in certain searches. Now, when we come back to my listing, New York City, Orange County, Ulster, and Dutchess County, New York, at home birth, I made it say that. And so I'm able to do that with something called a widget, because if not, it just takes whatever it says on your website. So people are wondering, why am I not showing up in Google searches? Because it'll just take whatever snippet of copy. And if it's not relevant to what you want people to find, they're not going to find you. So Dutchess County, I show up on the first page. So now we have Orange County. So I'm here again on the first page. So I know I show up for Orange County in my area. Ulster County, same thing. But now I've worked this a little more because this is my home hood. Okay, so now you see that I show up here twice. And that's because of specific content on those two pages that are addressing Ulster County, New York. So that's why I now show up twice there. Okay, Kingston, same thing. It's kind of close to my area, but I'm only number one, or on the first page here. So now when we start streamlining, so now this is specific to me. So I'm MHV Doula, MidHudsonValleyDoula.info. So now you see I'm at the top, 1, 2, 3, or no, 1, 2, verse 2, but higher up on the rank because that's something I've worked a little more. And the more that you work these key terms, the more you show up higher, more times on the search. So now what is this? Minister doula. That was something that I was just messing with, but now because of an affiliation that I have, I kicked them a little cash. This is doulamatch.net. I show up because of my affiliation there. And so we can do the same thing, lactation, placenta, doula, energy work. Okay, how are you showing up? Let me see. This one was for some energy work. I learn IET. And so knowing how you rank with the work that you do, this gives you an idea. Are you easy to find? And if you can't find yourself, then you need to know, you need to work on your SEO. Sacred Health Doula. Now, most of that's all me. You know, because I've worked that more. And so as you refine your searches, as you refine your niches, you're going to show up under certain things. So with Doula Maven, I used to be on page 1, but because I stopped working the word Maven a little bit, now I've dropped down to page 2. Okay, but not in bad company. Lathan Thomas. Hey, but she's got most of page 1. Okay, when you put in Maven Doula, who comes up? But not bad company. Okay, so you really want to look at how you're showing up on the net. Again, here is New Paltz Doula. You know, that's technically my home hood. I now know that for whatever reason, I'm not showing up like I should. I'm still on the first page, but only because of Doula Match, not because of anything I'm doing on my website. Okay. So this is part of like market research, demographics, you know, how are you, you know, where are you falling in your niche? So now this is like one of my mains. You know, it's not like Sacred Health Doula, but Mid-Hudson Valley Doula. So that's Orange, Ulster, Dutchess County, where we live technically. So again, you know, top 3. You know, and I'm competing here with people who, if you notice in their titles, you see that Hudson River Doulas, Hudson Doula, Hudson Valley. You know, there's certain things within their titles that are ranking them. So just knowing where you are in your community really matters. I did that one, Maven Doula, and now all my tabs are disappearing. Okay. So with that being said, you know, really deciding whether you're at a place to get a website, how to leverage your search engine optimization, because this is the difference between doing lots of promotion and people finding you organically. Okay. Are there any questions? Because I know that was a lot. Oh, look at her. She got the bridge back there.
The Golden Gate Bridge. This was excellent. Thank you. The one question that kept popping up, and again, I'm not techie and I don't do any of this stuff, but does also like the way that, you know, other people search you, or the fact whether or not other people search you impact your listing? I kind of recall that maybe was a thing early on, that not only is it your copy and your content and your words, but then if someone searches for you a lot, that helps to bump you. Is that true? Was that ever true?
About that,
Absolutely.
I will have to ask.
Absolutely, it does. It absolutely does, especially when you're doing organic searches. So maybe I can segue into.
Yeah, no, do it. Segue.
So where I'm coming from, ladies, is from a place and a space where I went to school for business. I've done a couple of things, and I am aware of SEOs, search engine optimization, but I have not applied it. I bumped, and collaborated with a very good friend of mine to get my website going. 5 years ago, she was on me, get your website. You do so many things. And I did not. I said I wasn't ready. I was baby making poorly. And mhm, 3 years ago, we actually connected, got together, did a website. And just last year, I started playing around with my website. But my buttons don't go anywhere, so that's all me in the process of learning. So I'm going to segue into my slides so I can share some notes with you. What I will have for you at the end of this, at the end of your 6-month period, is I will have like my homeworks, what I did to learn what I learned, because the learning curve is a big curve, so that way you ladies can have it, but you will only have it after you complete your 6 months. So you'll have all these sheets, all my homeworks for this particular one after your time here. So in my slides, I'm going to read off search engine optimizations. They are simply answer machines. When you put something in, they answer to your requests, even though these search engines are complex computer programs. And that's what deters certain people away, because they are complex. There's a certain method to their madness. And if you don't have the time to figure it out, you can get lost in the sauce. Why do these search engine optimizations exist? They exist to identify, to interpret, and to organize the internet's content to give the best and most suitable results to the queries or the search that is inputted by the searchers, which is you. Notice how simple it is. Sometimes you put something into Google and Bing, and bing, their suggestions come up, and you have to scroll to see if it's relevant for you. Why isn't your website discovered? And I'm asking it like I'm asking you, but I was asking myself this. Why wasn't my website being discovered? Well, it was because I was invisible. Yes, I was invisible. My website content and that information needed to be visible to these search engines. That's the most important piece to solve in an SEO puzzle. To make yourself visible. And it's like Maraday said, to make yourself visible with these search terms, these search words, putting them in certain places. If your site can't be discovered, there will be no possibility for your website to show up in the search engines. And it's also called search engine results, which are called SERPs. I'm just giving you terms because when you go to do your own research after you leave this course, you're going to be like, oh, what is this? And they're going to use the term SERPs. They're not going to tell you that that means search engine results page. That's what you get after you search. Now, the cost of SEOs is indirect. What does that mean? That means that you cannot simply just pay your way to the first page. You can't just pay. You can use other other means like the pay-per-click, the ads words, but search engine optimization, for that, you need to rank your website for relevant keywords like Maraday was explaining. Not just keywords that, sound cool or they're nice to you. They have to be relevant to your website. This will attract organic traffic to your site, and organic traffic is more reliable, believe it or not. Research has shown this. You can do your own research. That's a little bit part of the homework. Research has shown this, although the pay-per-click ads, even though they get higher clicks and they cost more money, it's the organic traffic that is steadfast. And it just as long as, like remember they said, and she showed you, just as long as you stay in the top 5 to 10, whatever the number is for the first page. Sometimes it's the top 5, sometimes it's the top 7, sometimes it's the top 10. It depends. And if you fluctuate between Google and Bing, you'll see what they rank as the top listings. Okay, there's always a decision to make. You can either, this is what happened in my situation and why I say that my website is still in limbo. Meaning, if you go to uvelka.com, I have some beautiful pages. My and more button clicks don't go to anything and more. And when you go to search and you find me, I'm not in the top 5. I'm not even in the top 15. that goes to show when you start something in your business and you're not ready for that part, it'll just be laying in limbo, you know, because you really have to work it. Or like I'm getting into right now, hire an expert so you don't lose quite a bit of money before you learn how it works. And we tend to do that. We tend to pay for something, and if we don't stay on top of it, the money is wasted. Or we say, you know what, far from no getting that, and we go hire somebody who knows more than us, and then either you have to stay on top of them or they give you something, and if you don't know, you don't know. And that's where I was at. You know, SEOs, they take time, but the results under most circumstances are long term. The reason why I say that is because you have to remember that nothing in life is guaranteed, but hard work, stroke of luck, and destiny are always present. So let's keep it real. You know, just to be, you know, I don't want to give you no guarantees here because it's not going to happen. So, since most of the general public has no idea what is happening behind the scenes when they search in Google or Bing, you ladies will educate yourselves. Your homework is to answer these following questions. 1, how does Google, Bing, and others decide what is accessible on the web? 2, how do they decide what is relevant when you do your particular search? And 3, how do they decide what precise website should be ranked better than the other?
I'm going to need you to repeat 2 and 3, please.
Sure. 2, how do they decide what is relevant when you do your particular search? And 3, how do they decide what precise website should be ranked better than the other? And what I mean by they is Google, Bing, and other search engines. And that is my presentation, ladies. And I hand over the mic to Miss Kai.
Hey. All right. That was great, Juju. Thank you so much. So the way that I'm going to talk about this is from my particular experience. And actually, I'd love to get everyone really involved in this round. I'll give you a little bit of story and I'll show you a few examples. And then just have in mind the area of birth work that you are specializing in. Just think about how you describe it in 1 or 2 sentences or phrases. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you find, oh, no problem, Meride. I'm going to help you find your keywords for whatever webpage you're going to put up eventually, or that you already have up. And also, I'm going to show you live how we are improving our own SEO. Okay, but first I'm going to tell you a story. Because I like stories. Which one am I starting with? Okay. The story that I'll start with is that, so I used to be a celebrity publicist. And the way that I learned about SEO, I was the chief digital marketing officer. And we had a client ask, you know, how can I improve my SEO? And we had someone who was working with us, a specialist who dealt with SEO. And what I found out is that SEO works in 2 ways. One is that you may have things that are out there, you know, meaning your web page, your profile, you know, or what have you, that is related to your field. But you may not want those to be the top ranking things. You may very well not want those to be seen at all, but you want your new stuff to be seen, right? So what you can do is you can, just as much as you can lift something up, you can also push something down. How? By having more content higher ranked. than the stuff that you don't want to be seen so much. So what you can do is you can create new things. You can create blogs. You can create new landing pages. You can create new profiles. You can submit to new directories. An example is, maybe you had a brand name that you were using previously, and now you want to start fresh. You want everything to be about your new brand. You don't really want to focus on the old one anymore. So what you do is now you get your new brand name in all of those places and more, so that your new brand name ranks higher and it pushes down all of your old stuff. And this is why we say in SEO that consistency is key. Because when you're consistently putting out new content, what you're doing is you're saying to the search engines, hey, keep looking at me. Not just look at me right now, look at me in September, but look at me in September and October and November and December. And that's how you really work it so that you're ranking above your competition. And that's something that Meriday is really good at. She keeps telling us, visit this, visit that, check this, check that, keeping people coming to her higher ranked sites. So I applaud Meriday for that. So that's story number one. Story number two is that I had a business. I still am a crafter back in the day, right? And I had a business making buttons, like that you put on your shirt, like that you actually like do, like you'll see in a second. And the name of the company was Button This. It's kind of edgy, right? Like Button This. So that was the name of the brand. That was the name of my website. Everything was super consistent across the board. And the brand actually got pretty big. I ended up having a distributor contract with Walmart, and I ended up in a lot of different retail stores. So let me show you what happens when you Google search Button This. Share screen. That one. All right, so this is what happens when you search Button This. There are the buttons right there, right? And at that time, I was living in Jersey City. So you could see my address was there. You could also see that it is now closed. And this little listing on the right-hand side is called Google My Business. And this is a very powerful way to claim your SEO ranking. So you have the opportunity to create a Google My Business profile, and you can just go Google My Business and create a profile that way, and it'll just take you through step by step. But what happens when you create that is that you'll have a listing like this when somebody searches your business. Very, very powerful. I haven't touched this in years and it still shows up, right? And then on the left side, all of the top listings are all my business, right? From Amazon to Facebook to Twitter to Walmart to WordPress blog. But let me tell you what happened. And the reason how I got into understanding SEO was because it's really funny. If you look at the name of the brand, right? Button This, you could also pronounce it but on this. So there was one time that I searched it before I started the SEO, and it was like all porn stuff. And I was like, oh crap. I don't want that to come up when somebody's searching for my business. So I made it my business to make sure that I put all of these things up there, so that way people would find me instead of all of that other stuff that we don't want to see. So that's an example of that first story that we were talking about, how you can push other things down. Awesome. But now what I want to do is I want to focus on you. And please feel free to unmute yourself, and we can start with whoever would like to volunteer first. I'm going to show you something called wordtracker.com. And wordtracker.com is a place that you can go, and you can you start here in the upper left hand corner. You can select which search engine or which platform you would like to find keywords for. And these, what comes up are the most searched or most prevalent keywords related to the one that you enter. So for instance, I just entered doula, right? And some of the top search terms are, what is a doula? So imagine if you had a blog post that talked about what is a doula, then you would be among the top that are found when people are searching the most prevalent terms or phrases. Also, death doula, that's interesting, is very prominent here. A doula definition, how to become a doula, end of life doula, postpartum doula, birth doula, doula salary. So these can all become things that you write about on your website. Or here's another, there it is. I also searched birth. And what you can do is, play around with this as much as you'd like to, but I would suggest taking the top 3 keywords that you feel applies to your main service and just look at what's being discussed around that. And we'll look at it together. But here, birth chart comes up. That's astrology. I wouldn't have even thought that that was something that, that would be searched most often. But you've also got birth certificate, birth control, tons of things here. It just helps you get familiar with what's coming up for people the most. And again, we're looking at Google right now. That may be different for eBay, for instance. That may be different for Amazon. That may be different for YouTube. But this is a great tool to just get familiar with what's being discussed out there on the web, so that you can appear in those most prominent conversations. Awesome. I'm just reading the chat now. So Tia, if you wouldn't mind, would you volunteer if you could pick one word or one phrase that really describes what it is that you're up to?
It would have been the first one, doula, that you had up already.
How about if you add a word or two to it? Is there any particular specialty that you have within the doula realm? And a no is okay too.
I'm gonna stick with a full spectrum doula because I'm taking classes that's gonna aid from fertility to if they have a pregnancy loss.
Awesome. Perfect. So full spectrum doula. Let's see what comes up. Interesting. Okay. So word tracker, obviously they want to get paid too, right? Mm-hmm. So they've given us that a way to understand where full spectrum doula comes up in terms of the volume of searches. And you can see that says 200, right? So let's just keep that number in mind and see what happens when we open up doula. So the word doula, let's say that it's searched 70,000 times. Out of those 70,000, let's say that 200 of them, because that was the number that we saw before, people search for full spectrum doula. So that gives you an idea of how many people you would be attracting by using the keywords full spectrum doula. So this, to me, if you would like an interpretation, says that maybe full spectrum doula, that we can find some other words that are more relevant to the things that people are searching nowadays.
Okay.
Okay. And that's great information, right? Because what if full spectrum doula was everywhere, but nobody's searching that? Maybe they have some other fancy or slang name that they have for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's find out. Let's look a little bit further on doula and see if there's anything that does apply to you that comes up in the top search list. So for instance, postpartum doula shows up. Birth doula shows up. And these two are both ranking much higher because you can see that the volume is at 2,400, about 2,400 here too.
I have a question or a thought about that.
Yeah, sure.
So what you're saying is, okay, so Tia Monique, the Tia or Tia?
Either way.
So what you're providing and what you're focused on is the full spectrum doula. But I think what I hear Kai saying is that that's not as popular. So like what's coming up more is the postpartum, like the run-of-the-mill names that people are familiar with. So if she were to associate herself more, like how does that work? So people aren't really searching as much for full spectrum doula, but they are searching postpartum doula. Does she still come up in that picture?
If she includes the keyword postpartum doula in her materials, in her website, in her pages and profiles. Yes, Juju.
Okay.
And just for clarification, it doesn't mean that being a full spectrum doula is not as popular. It's just that term is not very popular. And we can find the terms that will have Tia come up most prevalently. It has nothing to do with the actual area of work not being popular.
Well, it's broader and it's like better. I just learned about that 2 years ago, and I think it's awesome. So I love that.
That's what I was going to chime in with, Kai. That because I am a full spectrum holistic certified trauma informed provider, doula.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like instead of doing all of that, like Kai said, go to the specifics. Doula, death, birth, postpartum.
Okay.
Those terms people are familiar with, right, Kai?
Right. So yeah, don't go changing what you do, to serve popular terms. Find the popular terms that serve what you do.
Exactly. The relevant keywords relevant to what you're doing.
Yeah. Awesome. So Patty, since you're here, what's your keyword?
Me?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm going to make my keyword perinatal.
Okay.
Perinatal care.
I just want to see what comes up here. I suspected that. It's very similar to full spectrum doula. You've got a volume of 586, right? And can you just tell me a little bit more by what you mean by perinatal care?
Well, that's technically it is pregnancy and the years following. It could be very general in terms of childbearing years, which is very broad. But specifically, even broader, right? Very specifically, like if you're trying to conceive, once you've conceived, pregnancy, and up to 1 or 2 years after would be considered the perinatal care. So instead of breaking it up, pregnancy, postpartum, it's like the whole time frame. But a lot of people don't know that, maybe, you know, like it's not as popular. That's why I picked it, but that's what I like. I like that.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay. So just for research purposes, let's find out what popular terms come up with pregnancy. What comes up with pregnancy? Interesting. We've got ectopic, just the word pregnancy. So you might want to consider using the word pregnancy somewhere in your titles and content. Just a consideration. Calculator, pregnancy test, symptoms. Symptoms could be a great blog, you know, article title for you because it's relevant to, you know, to what you are specializing in. Early signs is a high searched keyword. Pregnancy pillow, interesting. You could write a blog article on your research on pregnancy pillows. Let's see what else is here. Symptoms, chemical, geriatric pregnancy. There's a lot of things here. But it's good, again, to know what else there is out there, you know, that's being discussed around your specialty.
Right.
Helpful?
So more pregnancy and okay, I got you.
Awesome.
So postpartum didn't really come up much with perinatal as a relevant term, or was it more just pregnancy?
Perinatal care was actually a low searched term.
Okay.
What we found is that pregnancy ranks a lot higher.
Okay.
And these are the different phrases around pregnancy that comes up. And you can totally go to wordtracker.com and just put that term in there and have a look yourself and see which phrases and words you would like to use.
Okay. I like, these are great suggestions though. You want to laugh? Geriatric pregnancy is anything over like 35, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Tell me about it.
Ridiculous. Right, Judy?
Yeah, they kept saying I'm high risk pregnancy until I put them in check because I'm geriatric pregnancy. I'm mira.
The current gentler, and we got to work on language, but just another advanced maternal age.
That's
and I'm
what
like,
I used.
seriously?
I said, don't say high risk because to me, those are trauma words.
Yeah.
You know, say advanced maternal age or mature maternal age. That's what I told them to say.
Yes.
I know
Totally.
Jasmine is waiting, Kai.
Jasmine, have your keywords ready. I am. What is Juju doing? I'm just gonna blow my nose really quick, and I'll be right back. I'm not going that far.
Well, as
I
she's gone, I will be the entertainment for the day. You know, focus on keywords. You know, really, because you know when I do perinatal and infant loss, Patty. You know, the pale. So when I saw perinatal, I had to break it down to like baby loss, death. Oh, and now she's back, the nose blower. My
Thank
time
you.
is up.
All right, Jasmine, what you got?
I just signed up for a class where I'll be sort of learning about fertility and fertility advocacy.
Okay.
So fertility advocacy is what I wanted to pop up.
Okay. So let's see your rank number here. We've got no search results for this query, which is very interesting, right? And what you can do to like back reference this is you can just take this term and pop it into Google and see what actually does come up, right? You've got resolve.org has some things, verywellfamily.com. However, what this is telling us, let me plug in real quick. What this is telling us is that it just happens to be not a very popular search term. So let's find out which ones are. Let's go for fertility. Oh, they hitting me with this now. They're like, yo, you searching way too much. That's okay, because I have another website that I can go to. And there's tons of these. Just search free keyword tool and you can come up with another one. Not that one though. This one. This one is actually a really good one. Keywordtool.io. And again, I'll just put both of these websites in there for you. So let's see what comes up. It's all the same thing. Literally, they are referencing the same sites: Google, YouTube, Bing, Amazon, eBay. The format just looks a little bit different. So we are searching now fertility. First, I'm just going to put in here to see what this one says about fertility advocacy. Waiting. You can see already that we've got fertility advocacy groups comes up, fertility awareness, fertility advocate, as opposed to advocacy. So these are some ways that we can start playing around with the form of the word. And I'm wondering what comes up if we just put fertility. Interesting. Fertility clinic, rate, app, awareness, goddess. So these are all things to just consider. And fertility clinic is coming up really high at a volume of 27,000. Again, like I'm saying, all of these websites say the same thing. They just their own brand of information. So they've got their own format. And some people, they like to have you pay for things. So that's what the purpose of this is down here. But what this is saying is that maybe if you had a blog post about fertility clinics, or if you were affiliated with one that you could recommend. Juju has something to say. Yes.
I wanted to ask Kai, because I like my wordplay.
Mm-hmm.
So I was gonna do the suggestion anyway, but what if we put a synonym in for advocate, like champion or supporter, like fertility supporter, or would something different come up in the keywords, as opposed to advocacy?
Awareness.
Yeah, exactly. They're coming up here as we're looking, and you can switch out keywords and substitutes and synonyms as much as you want until you find something that resonates with you that you want to use in your keywords and titles. And since we are getting close to the end of our session, I just want to show you what it looks like in the back end of our website. And this is what happens when you go to birthworkwisdom.com. You come up with our menu here of, the three main things that we do, right? The summit, the podcast, Doula Magic, and our mentorship, right? And this is, again, just one platform. Each platform, that you're using to build your website looks a little bit different, but the essence is basically the same. And also, Jasmine, are you feeling complete with that for now?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And of course, if you have more questions or you want some suggestions, we can have a discussion about everyone's keywords in the Facebook group. So for me, what I have to do in our website is that I go to settings and it says SEO parameters. And it asks me what the page title is, what the meta description is, what the meta keywords are, which was what we were just searching, the page author, and then again, title and description. And what we have here right now, Meriday brought it to my attention, we're actually not ranking very high. So this is an opportunity for me to do some more research on the search terms that really apply to us to get us higher ranking. I just simply copy the title But based on our research today, pregnancy is really high. I could include that. What is a doula? If we had a page, you know, on our website that just says, what is a doula? We would get really high up in the rankings. And all of the other information that we discovered together. So I just wanted to, you know, give you a peek in the back end of what ours looks like and also what we are out to do as well. And I have a super duper special SEO checklist that I'll share in the group, and also it'll be available in the membership area of the Wisdom mentorship, so that you can download it and use it. And if there's a term on there that you don't understand, because there is so much to SEO that we didn't even get to cover today, one, you can Google it, or two, just ask in the group and we can share what we know about it as well and get you up to speed.
We have a month to get familiar with it.
Right? We have a whole month to get you on all the top ranks on all the Google pages everywhere and get you seen and get you booked. So thanks for listening. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
Like the Facebook page, these SEO tags.
Say that one more time.
Do the SEO tags work for a Facebook page?
It does. If you remember for Button This, I think number 4 was my Facebook profile. So
Okay.
those work too.
So
I saw that.
Social media, if you can't quite afford the full website.
Yeah, you can do social media. There are things like about.me. If you go to that website, it's a way to like claim a landing page without having to create a full website. Just check it out. It's super easy. You just follow the instructions and you get to pop up a page that actually does have a pretty good SEO ranking on its own, but you don't have to like build out a whole thing.
Okay, cool.
Yep, and anything else that crosses your mind, just type it in the group. And I say the group because when you ask a question, like we all get to benefit from the answer. Like that was a really good one. And then we wouldn't have known about.me if you didn't ask that question.
Yep. And then we'll make sure that we put all those links under SEO, search engine optimization, blah, blah, blah. And then just make sure you go to Unit 1 and put your questions there, because that way you know where to find everything. We can find it easy. And it just really streamlines searching, because you know the Facebook groups can get out of control after a while.
Awesome. And also we have the chat if it's something private or you don't feel comfortable typing it in the Facebook group necessarily. So that's an option as well.
And just know that our Facebook group though too is just people who are members. It's not like our Beso group, which is just everyone.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. Who came up with the name Beso, like the acronym? Who came up with that? Because it is genius. What is that?
Meriday.
Yeah, I'm on my phone. Meriday.
Birth Worker Evolution Society Online is Beso.
Exactly, but that is genius. I don't know if you meant to do that.
No, it just like seriously, they be trying to pull the creativity. I'm like, no, you can't make me now.
No,
like play with words, do things.
Spirit
I'm like,
is no joke. Spirit is no joke.
Right.
So that was straight channeled. Like she said, Spirit was no joke. I was like, but look, Beso.
Oh God, that's so great. Well, thank you, ladies. This was amazing. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Do we have the date up for next month?
Next month, hold on. Everything is, like I said, all the 6 months are lined up in our group. So you can see our syllabus, quote unquote, there. And then there are topics, you know, that we go through as we do this. Hold on, I perdió el grupo, espérate.
And it's okay if it's not, but just know that when we have our next mentorship call coming up, it'll be posted in the membership area, it'll be posted in the Facebook group. You'll hear about it everywhere. But you know that we're doing this once a month, and please post your progress. Like
Yes.
that's what we're here to celebrate. Like I want to be like, yay, you're in the
Yes.
top 4 on this search
So,
term. Oh my gosh.
January,
I love her. You know what I mean?
January is about taxes and accounting.
Ooh.
Okay. And so again, deciding where you're at your level of business, you know, do you DBA, do you LLC, but no matter what, you got to keep all your receipts. There are lots of things that are write-offs, and knowing what you can deduct. And since everybody working from their home, you can deduct 1/3 of your rent.
Yeah, and just be mindful, ladies, that remember they did put all the units in there for the 6 months that you're going to be in this program. So, you know, today you have the SEOs, like Meriday just mentioned, you're going to have taxes and accounting. So that way you can prepare your questions because you know the topics ahead of time. You know, in February, you got client tracking and paperwork. The 4th month, you have branding. On the 5th month, you have advertising strategies. On the 6th month, you have website design.
And
You
just
know,
know that you're not limited to 6 months. We have a whole year of content and subjects available and things that we're going to dive into.
And,
so that's just FYI. Yes, ma'am.
And it says unit 6, but it's actually month 5. Okay, because then we have June. And so that was because we had, did I do something wrong? No, January, February, March, April, May, because we had November. That's why, right? Or did I add 1 month too many?
Yeah, you did, but we're good because like Kai said, you know, spirit is no joke.
Yeah.
Like Kai said, we do have a whole year of content, but because you guys made a 6-month commitment, there you go. And then you have like a teaser on the 7th month. And just know that, you know, bring your questions, and we're not defined by these topics. These are suggestions. So if there's something like we said about the search engine optimization that is relevant to you, you know, bring those up and we'll address them because that's what mentoring is, you know. Thank you for your time, ladies. I'm out of this matrix. Got to get ready for the wedding stuff. I'll see you on the next one. Everybody in here knows how to reach me.
See you next month, but we'll see you in the group.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.